Welcome back to Dylan's Little Hobbies, and in today's video we are going to be doing another ins and outs of fish keeping video. In today's video we are going to talk about the endless battle of fish keeping algae. What the heck is algae? Why does it grow? Why do I have it in my tank? How can you get rid of it? We're going to be talking about all of that in today's video. First off, what the heck is algae? Algae is basically a free-flowing plant cell in your tank. That's basically what it is. It needs three things to grow, just like all plants. It needs light, CO2, and nutrients. And in fact, algae grows when there is an imbalance in one of these three things. It might be all of these three things, it might be just two of these things, it might be one of these things. But yes, it's an imbalance of one of these three things at least. And that means a lot of people think that if they turn down the lights, maybe that will cause less algae. That is a possibility and it does work, but it doesn't work all the time. The fact is, it's an imbalance of one of these three elements in your tank. Either CO2, nutrients, or lying. Just dial down the lying isn't going to kill it all the time. Fact is, it might be growing a lot because you have more nutrients in the tank. As long as it has a small amount of light, it will grow if another one, like nutrients, is out of balance, or CO2. And if you have a CO2 tank on your aquarium, then maybe you should dial down the CO2 on your tank, or maybe you should expel the CO2 in the tank. I mean, sometimes if there's an imbalance of light, by adding more CO2, you can cause and fight back algae. That is possible. The entire aquarium hobby is all about bringing nature into our aquariums, right? And nature is all about balance. So it's very difficult to find that balance in your tank. It's even more difficult when you add plants and all that other stuff like fish in a tank that is unbalanced. The trick is always to get that point where it's in complete balance. When you find it, it's beautiful, but the fact is, all aquariums, every single aquarium hobby is going to deal with it. This is a challenge, and it's the constant war of the fish keeping world. It's a constant battle against algae. Whether you may find that balance for a few days, it can come back and bite you in the butt next week. It's just a constant up war with algae. It's always going to be something that you're going to have to fight, but that is just the fact. With that said, there isn't just one type of algae either. There's blackbeard algae, the worst kind. There's hair algae. There's green water algae, algae that just floats in the water. There's diatom brown algae, that stuff that grows on your glass. There's all different types. There's 100 million other types of algae into your aquarium hobby. Some of them we know exactly what they are. Others we don't, because there's just endless amounts of types of algae out there. Just like there's endless amounts of types of plants out there. Now, how does algae come into your system? Well, the fact is, it could have come on some, like, rocks or plants or something that you got from the fish store. Hey, a fish could have had algae on it. Not that it would grow on it, but if they had it in its mouth or something and you brought the fish home and didn't pour out the water or anything, you could have gotten algae like that, you know? It's very possible. But what if you just set up a tank and put a fish in there? Well, algae is just natural. Algae is basically nature trying to save your fish. In fact, algae is a really good sign of not only your fish tank growing, but it's also a really bad sign that one of these three things are in balance, and those one of three things could kill your fish. So you should also be thankful to algae for the fact that Mother Nature is using it to possibly save your fish. The algae is growing, might be because there's too much CO2 in the tank. Your fish could be breathing a whole lot of CO2 into the tank, and because it's not expelling out of the tank thanks to gas exchange, perhaps you don't have surface tension in the tank right now. Thanks to the fact that it's not expelling gas out of the tank, algae could be growing to suck that CO2 in. Algae could be growing to suck up that nutrients that could be breaking down that your bacteria, your biological filtration, isn't able to break down yet. Algae is a good thing. It's just a bad sign. It's a good thing because it will save your fish temporarily, but it's a bad sign because it means there's an imbalance in your tank that possibly could kill your fish. Now, lion's not going to kill your fish, but obviously an excess amount of light could grow algae too, so that could be a reason why algae is growing. So, I'm not saying don't try turning off your lights and seeing what happens, just the idea that that's the only fix to algae is ridiculous, you know what I mean? That's just the fact when it comes to algae. Now, when it comes to what you should do when you come in contact with algae, is as soon as you see it, you should probably do a water change. Water changes are like the best fixes to basically anything wrong in the tank. That doesn't mean that doing a water change is the pure solution to it, but it does mean you can clean the tank, you can do a water change, get rid of that extra nutrients or that CO2, but you still have to figure out what is causing the algae, and most of the reasons would be one of these three reasons: CO2, lining, or extra nutrients, and all you have to do is figure out which one's going haywire. Is it the CO2? Is it the line? Is it actually the nutrients? Is it the fish poo? Maybe you didn't do a water change and the fish pooed a little extra. Maybe you gave it a little extra food. It pooed a little extra, and that is causing extra nutrients in the tank. Anything like that, you'll definitely get algae. Now, is algae the worst thing in the aquarium? So a lot of people think it's ugly, a lot of people don't like it, but when you really start to get into the aquarium hobby and you start realizing that algae is everywhere, it's just natural to the aquarium world, it's natural to the fish's world out there, then maybe it can be used to make a more natural substance for your tank. You know, having a little bit of algae here and there isn't the worst thing in the world. You don't want it on the front glass because, of course, it looks ugly and you can't see the fish. But if it grows on the back of the glass, on your back panel, or, you know, a little bit on the rocks or something like that, it's not the end of the world. It can make the rock look like it's been there for 1,000 years or so. It can make it look older than it actually is and just look natural. So it's not something bad, in a sense. You don't want too much of it, but it's not something bad. With that said, what can you do to fight it? Of course, do water changes, figure out what is actually going on wrong in your tank, but there are also fish and other creatures that eat it. Snails eat it. And there are fish eat it, like oil cichlids, plecos. Of course, most plecos get really large and won't eat it when they get bigger. However, something like bushy-nosed pleco, which I actually have in here, bristlenose plecos, they will actually stay pretty small and they eat algae. You know, sometimes koi cats and other types of fish will eat algae as well. Of course, if you get a fish that's going to just eat algae, and you're putting a bunch of food in there, but you want to eat the algae, well, guess what? It's going to want to eat the food more than the algae, so the better idea, if you have an algae eater, and you want it to eat the algae, maybe not feed it a little bit, make it hungry, so it goes searching for food, and that's when it's going to start eating the algae. With that said, some fish, like snails and plecos, they need algae in their diets. So if you don't have enough algae for them, that could be a bad thing too. That's when you can get some algae wafers. Now, where do I have mine? I know I have a bag of algae wafers around here somewhere. You can get algae wafers, little wafers with algae in them to eat. But with that said, it's all about how you tend to deal with algae. Now, in the saltwater world, there are what's called macroalgae, which are single-celled plants. They're basically just like the microalgae you deal with in the plant tank, except these macroalgae grow nice, big, and beautiful, and you can keep them as basically saltwater plants in the aquarium world. But with that said, that's all the information I can tell you about algae. Thank you guys for watching, and I am out. Bye.